how much could you tell from day one back, and how realistic would it be? Could he possibly come back and play on Sunday?
It was just great to see him back working with the guys. I think opening up his window right now. We'll be excited when the time comes, but we'll work through it and make sure he's ready to go before we cross those roads. But yeah, it's great to have him back, have his energy yesterday.
Hi, Frank. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'll give credit to Omar for pointing out a video that the Dolphins posted of Jaylen Waddle on the sideline after he scored, where he showed a version of Jaylen Waddle that we don't normally see, saying, I've been that, and really taking charge of the situation. What have you seen from him? Is there another Jaylen Waddle we're not aware of? Tell me about the other side of Jaylen Waddle.
I just think that when you go through adverse times and you're working to get back to playing good football, I think the big thing is learning to enjoy the process and having energy when you compete. And the last couple of weeks, I think the guys have really understood what is necessary for us to be at our best, and Jaylen's been part of it. And the sidelines the last couple of weeks have been really one for me to be back down there has been fun, but just to see the guys really expressing themselves and having fun playing and competing and working with each other. But yeah, I think he's always kind of lays beneath the surface. He's got that going on.
To kind of stick on the behind-the-scenes video theme, we got to see the locker room last week after the win, and you go from that to this really cool trip to Spain. So two-part question. Does the team seem different now after that win, and what were your breakdance moves in the locker room? Did that not make
And unfortunately, I had to retire those skills, several years ago. I think reality is you're seeing, in the good times, you see the best side of it because you're enjoying it with everyone. And, really two of the last 3 games, we've been able to work together to kind of play the way that we've expected to play. So I think that's when you're starting to see guys really understanding what it's needed and how they work together and the excitement they have towards playing ball together. And I think that's just been the best part about the last, really 2 of the last 3 games, and we're learning a lot from Baltimore.
What do you think about the Prince's?
I didn't see all of it. I mean, there's a back hallway that I kind of was in, so I didn't see all the necessary moves, and I don't have social media, so I kind of heard a couple things. So it was good to see everyone just enjoying, celebrating together when we win.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, what's up?
How have you seen Greg Dulcich? Is it Dulcich or Dulcich?
Dulcich.
Dulcich?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get that right. But how have you seen him really acclimate to this offense? Spent the first month or so on the practice squad, and he had the big 22-yard catch on Sunday. I think he was one of Tua's favorite targets against the Ravens as well.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it just comes with preparation, attitude. Every day you're preparing for that day that's coming. And he really took that to heart. I mean, when he was running the scout team and doing other stuff, you really saw his skill set. And then once you start learning the offense and be able to contribute through all that, I think it's really a credit to him and how hard he works and just the group in general. And he's been a really great addition for us. And hopefully we're continuing to build on everything that we're doing with him and all the other guys this week.
Hi, Coach. I remember some of the top soccer coaches, for example, Southgate, when he was coaching the England national team, that said that they look out for what we call American football for their game. Now that you are in this soccer atmosphere, there is something about that game that you can look to influence yours?
I think for myself personally, I always kind of study other high-level sports or high-level competitive industries, like special forces in the U.S. military, NBA basketball. I worked at Butler with Brad Stevens, who was the head coach of the Celtics for a while, and I was the president of basketball operations. So I think when when you get perspective towards other sports, other industries, other competitive fields to that high level of competition, you have an understanding of maybe you can extract something that you can take back to your team. And just the one thing I think ultimately through all of it is high effort, communication, consistency, and I think those are the real things. And I'm pretty sure just through my communication with professional football that's the stuff that they strive for, they look for in their players.
Frank,
Yes.
Commanders will be without Daron Payne for the game. Does that change anything in the way you prepare this offense?
I don't think it necessarily changes your preparation. You just know that potentially they'd have other things that they may potentially would do to replace a very talented guy like him. But ultimately, I think that goes in our weekly preparation is making sure we have plans for different areas of what the defense could try to do to affect us.
Obviously, we've seen the evolution of Tua as a player, and we know some of the challenges that he's had this season. But yesterday, he told us that the biggest challenge for him was when he had the press conference talk about player meetings and film study and stuff like that. And he said that was his biggest mistake and learning lesson. What kind of growth have you seen from Tua from a leadership standpoint this season?
I think the big thing is just knowing for him basically what works for him and how he can affect to be his best for himself and for his teammates. Because sometimes you think you need to do certain things, and it's just leadership's all about being comfortable with yourself and communicating the expectations and what you have with the people around you. And I think that's something that this year he's really kind of finding his niche of how he needs to communicate and expectations. And the biggest thing starts with leading by example through how you carry yourself every day and how you execute when it matters the most.
Devon Achan's big game. What worked well in the grand scheme of the offense to get him going, aside from his obvious skills and athleticism? And do you ever get to a point where you worry about too many touches for him? I know you want to feed him as much as possible, but do you ever worry about his workload?
You're mindful of the workload, but he also kind of goes in the initial preparation prior of trying to manage and distribute the football in the passing game, and in the running game, you're trying to make sure you get everyone involved. But ultimately, I think it was just our ability to execute, not get don't make mistakes that put us behind the schedule of where we want to be. And I think it's just guys understanding the plan and executing with a high level and energy. And it was great to just see us put it all together, one as an offense and two as a team.
Frank, I know this is a business trip for you guys, and you probably spent more time than you'd like in your hotel room game planning.
In a ballroom, Hal, down on the first floor.
There you go.
Yeah, I could be in anywhere in the world right now because it's a ballroom. So I'm looking forward to Friday and experiencing Madrid.
Well, that's sort of leads to what I was going to ask you. What's maybe one thing you've experienced so far that you would never experience anywhere else that you're going to remember for a long time to come?
Well, so far it's just the journey from the hotel to the stadium. You can see the history of the city and then the history of the culture. You can see, it's like you're looking around in the architecture, just things that are very different because it's, America's only been around for a couple hundred years, where this has been around for such a long time. So you can just see the rich culture and the history to me, and that's just things that are fascinating to me, just knowing the history of Spain and all the way back to, the Armada and finding America and stuff like that. So I'm excited. My wife and son are enjoying it so far, but I look forward to seeing everything on Friday.
Hi, Haley Sutton with CBS Sports. Nice to meet you, Frank.
Nice to meet you too.
Yesterday, Tua basically was described as the American quarterback that changed football. I'm just curious your thoughts on that. I know you kind of talked about his growth and development, but to be such a visible figure overseas, what that kind of means to you?
It just means that I think ultimately the influence of our sport on the world and the impact that we can have, not just in America, but around the world. And this is my fourth international trip to London, Frankfurt. Yeah, fourth trip. And it's just, I think it's it's a challenge logistically, but I mean, at the same time, so is going to the West Coast and stuff like that. So I just really enjoy it myself, and I know the players do, just because you get to see the impact, not beyond our own country. You get to see the impact you can have on someone that could be in Spain watching football for the first time, or like in Frankfurt 2 years ago when it's first American football game for many. So I just think ultimately when you're able to impact people and show them the joys of our sport, it's the greatest thing about what we do.